Yo, 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 what's up, guys? What is up? Good late evening. It's a late night edition of the Kick Ass Podcast. What is up, guys? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I think the audio should be good. Excuse me. But what is up? What is up? I will be getting into it here in a couple moments. Just let things get kicked off here, but I appreciate you guys for popping in, whether you're doing so here late in the evening or if you're watching on replay. I appreciate it. Didn't get a chance to do a stream yesterday morning. Just had some stuff come up and had to leave a little bit earlier for work, so just wasn't able to fit it in yesterday. But wanted to do it today and had to get a lot of stuff done today. But wanted to sit down and at least chat about Survivor Series here with you guys while we have some time. So obviously that's what we're gonna be doing. Um, it was quite a show, man. Quite the fucking show. So we'll definitely be getting into it. I'm gonna pull up the chat here. I saw a few of you guys already in there. Let me scroll down. What up, Grandmaster? Okay, audio's good. Sweet. Yeah, so definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about the show. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. Feel free to like, subscribe, all that good shit. But there is a poll in YouTube as well, just pretty much grading the show. You're only allowed to do 4 options. So I did A, B, C, and then D/F. So feel free to vote accordingly what your opinion is. I think so far. Let me pull it back up over here. Yeah, I was actually really surprised, and I am in the minority per the poll. It looks like so. Should be an interesting show. We're at excuse me, 44% right now said it was an A, and then it's interesting. 22% is tied for B and D/F, and then you have 11% at C. So yeah, obviously, you guys will figure out my I'll give you my score, but you'll figure out my opinion here in a second once we get into it. But yeah, I'm gonna close back out and get and see if I can pull it back up because I'm actually kind of surprised by that, by the results so far. But hey, sweet. That makes me happy, you know. Shit, it's not like I want people to go out there and not enjoy what the fuck they're watching, right? So hey, if you enjoy that shit, I am fucking ecstatic for you. But let me pull, like I said, I'm gonna pull up the chat here. But yeah, I appreciate everyone watching over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're watching. I appreciate that shit. Fernando, what up? What up, man? You said Survivor Series was very disappointing last night, and then Grandmaster, you said very, and you said 5 out of 10 from you. Okay. And Fernando, you said board games is what we got last night. Second worst show of the year. Palooza was the worst, says Grandmaster Solus. You're probably spot on there, honestly. And again, just a little disclaimer, heads up, throughout the stream, and it's gonna be like this for the past or for the next couple weeks. If I have to get up and step away for a second, I'll obviously let you guys know. But my doggy went through surgery this past week, so I have to keep an eye on her to make sure she's not doing any fuck shit with her ears. So if I have to get up and go check on her, apologies for having to step away, but I'll BRB, and obviously I'll let you guys know. But just a heads up on that. Maria, what up, girl? What up? What up? Where'd it go? You said the worst Survivor Series I've ever seen. The War Games matches were were too mid. I'm never watching War Games again. Yikes! Never watching it again. And what up, dude? Um, your handle is NWA Mexican. I thought it used to be E. What up, dude? Um, He said Blood and Guts was worse. At least WWE people knew how to throw on a War Games match instead of the rough crowd Tony tried to copy. Jay dancing in the middle of the match ruined the whole show. Yeah, dude, and I'm actually gonna star that because we will get to that shit. Because I was like, really, dude, really? In all of the matches, really? That's definitely a choice. So obviously we'll chat about that portion as well. Yeah, okay, so some heavy debate. Word. I dig it. I dig it. Alright, well, y'all have fun. Remember to be respectful of each other, but I love the. No, no, no. I love the varying opinions. I may need to put her pillow back on her real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna put her neck pillow back on her real quick. I'll be right back, guys, and continue the discussion because we will keep that. Be right back. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. Excuse me. She has this neck. It legit looks like a neck pillow that people wear when they fly to prevent her from fucking with it. So, all right, what up, Alex? What up? What up? You said Survivor Series was 7 out of 10 for you. All right, dope, dude. Dope, dope. And word, Alex, you said what was your favorite match or matches and worst match or matches? All right, yeah, appreciate that, Alex. Yeah, we'll definitely get into that for sure. And I don't know that it may be the response to Alex's question. There may be a little bit of surprise, maybe not. Because it's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. So we'll just get right into it because don't want to keep you guys too late here. It is a Sunday night and a lot of us have work tomorrow. I actually am off tomorrow. Thank God. I appreciate. I'm so fucking thankful and so appreciative that I'm off tomorrow. But it's a normal Monday, right? So a lot of people have normal work. But here we go. What up, Sai? What up? What up? You said you enjoyed the show? All right, dude. What up, Muhammad? What up? What up? You guys joined right in time. We are getting into the card now itself. But they ended up having, again, of course, it was in San Diego, California, the hometown of many people, but one Dominic Mysterio, which played into the match a little bit. The reaction, it was a little bit interesting. Like, I mean, I don't want to skip ahead, but just reading the card here and kind of like doing a quick overview. I think the setting though, and that's why it made me think of that, but the setting was dope. I think the stadium looked just beautiful. The backdrop with the sun setting, it was just visually well done. And I think one of my favorite stadium shows visually in the sense that like a lot of shows they just look so far out and now I say this and I'm gonna have a question for you guys. I don't know if because obviously with arenas it's enclosed so the sound stays contained, but I don't know if maybe at some points we just couldn't hear all. I mean, of course we can't hear all of them, but when they were reacting favorably, like, and I just feel like a lot of times it didn't resonate well with us, if that makes sense. And I feel like maybe they were reacting stronger than what came across. Because shit, like for some of the reactions, it was just wild. You know what I mean? And like Rhea Ripley, dude, just it's amazing to see kind of a little wonky. They've been with Rhea this year-ish, I would say, and how fucking popular she still is, dude. And her gear, man, like the art, the clown shit was just fucking dope. Like there's a few different accounts that have tagged her on Instagram. If you follow her on Instagram, that show like up close visuals and the details of it. amazing. Just fucking amazing. Hold on one second. I'm gonna pull this up really quick. Oh, but I just pulled up Twitter really quick. Some awesome news and fun news. Shout out to Trinity, aka Naomi, and our guy Jimmy, Big Jim. It looks like they are having a boy. Trinity confirmed on it's weird calling her Trinity, but that's her handle on Twitter. She said, "It's a boy. We decided to cancel our gender reveal due to me dealing with a complication. Baby and I are stable." Here, let me pull it up for you guys. 1 second. Because I actually saw this earlier, and I was like, "That's so." Shout out to them. It makes because like there's so much fucking negativity everywhere, and it's just fun to see some positive shit. So, right here, let me go to her page really quick. Oh shit! Look at this autograph. That's dope. Moving around. That's really dope. It's fucking crazy. Technology is crazy. Like, it's just so fucking crazy that we can see shit inside of a woman's belly like that, moving around. I mean, not shit, but a baby. You know what I mean? It's just fucking crazy. Technology is just so crazy. But here it is. She says, "It's a boy. We decided to cancel our gender reveal due to me dealing with a complication. Baby and I are stable, taking it one day at a time. Thank you for all the birthday love, wishes, support, and prayers." And she posted that today, this morning at 9:59 a.m. So a little baby boy, a little baby Oos, a little baby boy Oos, little Jimmy Jr. coming around. I don't know how many months we have left going forward, but that's dope. So shout out to both of them. Obviously, I know Jimmy has kids already. I don't know what they are, like boy, girl, whatever. But yeah, that's dope. That's dope. A lot of times it's typical where like the chick wants a girl and the husband, the boyfriend, whatever, wants a boy. Sometimes you have the rare occasions where it's reversed, or the guy really wants a girl or whatever. But as long as it's healthy, right? And it looks like she was dealing with a couple things, so shout out to them, and I hope they're doing okay. You know what I mean? Obviously she said baby due to dealing with a complication. So obviously something went awry there. So I hope they are good, and it seems like they are good. She says they're stable, so obviously that's confirmation there, right? But pregnancy is so fucking dicey, dude. Like, I mean, I've never been pregnant, so I can't speak from experience, but I have had friends who have been pregnant, and unfortunately things have not made it all the way. And I've had friends who thankfully, are made it all the way, are good, baby's good, living the good life, you know what I mean? So it's just you never it's like one of those things where you don't win until that clock says zero, you know what I mean? Until that baby is out, until mom's happy and healthy, holding the baby's happy and healthy, you know what I mean? So yeah, so continued T's and P's, as Pat McAfee would say, to them, and I hope they're good, and I hope they were able to have a good Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? And I'm sure they are, because Jimmy was at War Games, so that's obviously a good sign there. So I can't imagine having to travel and do what they do, and just have that type of job, and having to put on like a good face and put on a good performance and go out there and literally be a completely different person. You know what I mean? And in the back of your mind, thinking of your wife, your family, your unborn baby, and shit like that, and just amongst all the other things, that various wrestlers and crew members and the production crew, like all of them go through, you know what I mean? And not just them, just like the traveling jobs in general, but just the one, specifically, because we're here talking about wrestling. But it just, for me, like sometimes I'll speak for myself, like you forget about that, because mean, just think about me personally. Like, there's some days where, like, I just really don't want to fucking be bothered. And, like, I really wish I would have called out that day, but you're saving your time or you don't have time to take off or you just, whatever. You're just trucking through the day. You know what I mean? But you're doing, not that you're doing the minimum, but like you're doing your job, but like you're not going above and beyond to be like that friendly social butterfly. You know what I mean? But these motherfuckers have to go out there on camera, right? And I'm not on camera. You know what I mean? Like I'm just out there living my normal life. These motherfuckers are out there or on camera in front of millions of people. I just in front of thousands of people live. I can't imagine. You know what I mean? Like I props to them. Cheers to them. So yeah. Because me, I didn't know that shit. Maybe it was already out there. But I didn't know that shit until I read it earlier today. So I'm happy they're doing better. Grandmaster, okay. I went back to the comments really quick. He said Jimmy has 2 kids from his ex-wife, Jaden a boy and Jayla a girl. Okay, cool. So he's gonna be rocking another girl or another boy. That's dope. Awesome. Thanks for that. He said that's what Wikipedia says. Well, Wikipedia is always right, so that's accurate. I don't know what you mean here, man. You said don't know what reset show means. It's one of the big 4 shouldn't be doing a reset show. Maybe I missed a comment there. Because I definitely had just popped up or went back into the comments when I switched over there. But yeah, thanks for that, dude. I appreciate that. What up, Muhammad? What up, dude? I don't know if I said hey to you earlier. But getting back to the show itself, God, what was I going to Twitter for though? I was going to Twitter for something. Definitely was not just to read that tweet. Fuck. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Damn, it was for a specific reason though. Oh, I know. I remember now. And it definitely is important. So bear with me, guys. Bear the fuck with me. Y'all saw that video of every time. See, this is squirrel, right? Every time I pull up Twitter, I'll be seeing something else I want to talk to you guys about. But did y'all see that video of Paul Heyman shoving a fan? And it was a kid. I mean, not like a small child, probably like a early teen. You know what I mean? Like, like you just shove that. You just shove that kid. And then going to the comments, of course, there was like "fuck them kids" right underneath. Fantastic. Here we go. I have to show you guys the real highlight of the night and MVP of the evening. Oops. Oh, check out the real MVP of Survivor Series, guys. That gal right there. Fucking Topanga, y'all. Danielle Fishel. Like, oh, just chef's kiss. Like, beautiful, man. Like, and it's dope because she's one of those, and Vanessa Hudgens, right? She's one of those celebrities out there that doesn't give a fuck about what anyone says or has to think about her being a fan or her love for wrestling or anything like that. And she's fucking into it, dude. And I brought this one up in particular because look at her shirt, man. Look at her fucking shirt. Oh, just love her. Oh, just chef's kiss. But she's fantastic, right? But look at her shirt, dude. A Vader shirt, man. And of course, if you don't know the tie-in, the scene in the episode in Boy Meets World Oh my god. And just a fucking classic show, dude. Such a classic show. I'm so happy I grew up in the time frame that I did. But Vader was involved in the excuse me, in the episode itself. So she was paying homage to Vader. So again, just chef's kiss. Mwah. Fantastic. Fantastic girl. But yeah, I love her. She got, in my opinion, excuse me, the pop of the night. So yeah, props to her. Because I dig that she embraces this shit. You know what I mean? Especially sometimes when it ain't where it should be and it ain't the hottest, you know? I hear she did not win and got voted off, excuse me, Dancing with the Stars, which is just travesty. Shame on the voters. But back to the show. Ended up having over 45,000 fans, they said. Hold on. Excuse me, try to mute my mic there. To clear my throat so I didn't gross you guys out. But it's just wild to think. And I wonder if those people were pleased with the result and with the end product. And I say that because, man, like, I can't imagine what the ticket prices were being in San Diego, Survivor Series, John Cena's last PLE, all the bells and whistles, right? Like, I can't imagine what the prices were. So, and we're going to be getting, I actually have it pulled up here. When we get to John Cena's match, the ticket prices for John Cena's final match, The Last Dance. Isn't that funny? It's not officially called that. But they've dropped a bit, which is kind of interesting. So we'll take a look at that. And I think it's very telling because when I checked not even a month ago, it was still close to $500 for nosebleed seats, even nosebleed seats that were behind. So like if the stage and like I always call it the Titantron is right here, the seats it'll be right here for you guys. Behind it, fucking $500. You kidding me? Fuck off with that. Respectfully. But we opened up, which is no surprise, but we opened up War Games with the women's War Games match. Team Rhea Ripley, of course, we'll just call her Rhea. Team Rhea Ripley, of course, Rhea Ripley would be kind of awkward if she wasn't in her own team. Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee facing off against Team Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Becky Lynch. And really quick, especially, it just hit me seeing Lash Legend like make her entrance and everything. First of all, again, props to her. She has made such growth and such improvement. Not improvement like, oh my god, like she was trash. She was really fucking new. She was brand fucking new. You know what I mean? So like everyone sucks, you know, like your average person sucks or is going to not be that good at something when they're first starting out. And I just say that because a lot of people, like, it's just so interesting to me. It's like, okay, they praise NXT and they praise the developmental system idea, the concept of it and everything, but then they shit on the people who are in the system. And it's like that makes no sense to me. Like, yeah, these motherfuckers are not good yet, or in like they're not that entertaining, and some of these segments are not gonna hit. They're brand fucking new. Like, what do you expect? It's not like you have motherfuckers like The Rock and John Cena and CM Punk down there. You know, it's new talent. So that always kind of stood out to me. Now, granted, you can still critique it, right, and give your opinion and shit like that. That's what it's for, you know, because you'd be doing them a disservice if they're going out there and presenting something to you and you're saying, oh yeah, it's great, when it's really trash, because they're going to continue to do and still do that trash shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just that just always like was just kind of like fascinating to me because it's like, yeah, dude, they suck because they're brand new. Like if you watched me the first few months at my job, I would, you know, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but like I'm not going out there and like getting like cutting promos and like trying to get people to like me. You know what I mean? Like my job is completely different. So we all start out somewhere is kind of my point. So, but my point with bringing up NXT and all that, well, that just kind of, you know, writing that thought that I wanted to kind of get off my chest. But the name Lash Legend, we gotta do something about the name. Gotta do something about the name. Now that we're taking her seriously, now that she's at that level, and again, she's still got plenty of room to grow. But that's again the whole point. She has her legs underneath of her, right? Like, you know, she has her footing, as the sayings go. She's on the main roster now, so she's, you know, going to be projecting upward. You would hope, and we hope from here. So we got to do something about the name. Like, man, you know how, what was it? Max Dupree, right? For LA Knight. And again, LA Knight isn't even that better of an upgrade of a name, but shit, it's better than what it was, you know? So we got to do something. And it could be as easy of a switch as it was for um LA Knight. So it could be something in the back where you have like Nia and Lash like chatting in the back, or just either whether in the locker room or backstage. And Nia's like, "Yo, girl," and like she calls her Lash or whatever, and Lash is like, "Girl," she's like, "You know me." She was like, "Call me whatever," and whatever the name is gonna be, like have her say, "You know me, call me blah," and that is going to be the name going forward. That's what the commentating team starts calling her during the match or the next segment that we see her afterwards. And you go from there. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic repackaging or taking her off TV or waiting until that time or anything like that. I just feel like, to me, I was going to say like little things like that, but to me, it's not even a little thing. Like, yeah, how are you going to have like a marquee matchup at WrestleMania, and if the goal should always be for everyone to make them a WrestleMania main event talent, right? Whether they get to that point is questionable for everyone, and that's the point of the journey, right? But that should be the end game, right? To be the champion, to be the best, to be the main event, blah blah blah. How are you going to have Lash Legend, like the name, be out there? And again, like maybe there's some, and to be fair, like I am not completely well versed in the origins of the name. Maybe there is something besides just the, you know, there's the context of two names, you know what I mean? Maybe like she has some like Lash business, or like maybe her mom did, or maybe her family does, and like maybe that's it, and she wants to like broadcast that. Like, I don't know. But if that's the case, then they need to remind us, and they need to remind people first of all, and or they need to educate the main roster of people who don't know that, and people like me who don't know because they don't watch every week of NXT, but we give a shit about the product and we want to care about Lash Legend, but like, come on, like we got to do something about that. You know what I mean? And I guess like you can say what like names like Dolph Ziggler, right? Like aren't much better, but like at least Dolph Ziggler can sound like a name, you know what I mean? But like Lash Legend is just a description. It's her lashes, like her eyelashes are legendary. Word. That's dope. And I'm happy for her, and she should be proud if her lashes are legendary. You know what I mean? More power to you, girl. And I'm not knocking that, but I'm just saying like to going forward, and to really be like that bitch going forward, and to be like that main event, like the trajectory of like a Becky Lynch type shit, you know what I mean? Where no one probably ever thought she was going to main event at WrestleMania, and she just, the stars aligned, right? And she along with Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, you know, it was a completely different scenario, right? But now we're in that realm, and that time frame where women, it's not a rarity or uncommon for women to main event a pay-per-view, a PLE, whatever it's going to be. I guess there's no more pay-per-views, period, but like a PLE or like a Saturday night's main event, like big shows, they do that now more frequently than not. So I don't know, man. I didn't plan on dedicating so much time to that, so I apologize, but it just really kind of bothered me when she was making her entrance because it's like, yo, like I really want her to excel on the main roster, and I think she can. I think over time she can. I don't think she's gonna be like that overnight success, and I don't even necessarily like that. For people, it's kind of almost like a backhanded compliment. Like it's almost like more harm than good in the long run because you start off so hot, and it's like okay, like a Goldberg, for instance, you start off hot, going on a win streak, all this shit, and it's like okay, like you build up to that moment. Cool, you win the championship. Okay, like the next big moment is going to be when you lose, right? Naturally. And then what do you do from there? And that follow up is the key point, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like now that we're starting off with her, let's start off on the right track. So yeah, did not mean to dedicate so much time to that. So apologies, guys, but it just kind of stood out to me and just I guess need to get it off my chest too. But yeah, overall though, and I need to pull the comments back here. Um Overall though, guys, like, and this is why I feel like you guys we're gonna have differing opinions. The match was I just wasn't a fan of it, man. It just seemed kind of slow to me, and there were some points where the contact just didn't look crisp, and I don't know, man. I always feel weird like calling out specific spots because I don't know how to do that shit. So it's like judging someone's specific work. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but like whereas we're just giving our opinion on like storylines and like just the overall direction, I feel like that's a bit different. But man, there were just some spots where I'll just say like that shit just did not look crisp, and you could like just tell like it was just like the effort. I don't know, man. Not the effort, but like it was just like you could tell like a hand was just being placed, for instance, and I don't know, like it just really stood out to me. And I think because with war games, you're looking at it so much more in depth because of the fucking name of war games. Like with WWE, you're not going in there expecting buckets of blood. I don't expect any blood ever from WWE. So if we even get like a little splattering, I'm like, oh shit. Like with CM Punk later on. I think I even missed how that ended up happening. Like it was just next thing I knew his face was bloody. Like with that Jey Uso shit. I still don't know how that shit happened. Weeks ago, months ago now at this point. But so I think like I saw some of you guys I didn't see specifically like everyone's opinion, but like who was on what side. But my opinion, you can't compare you can't it's just not fair to compare war games to blood and guts. And I get it should be the same fucking concept, right? Because blood and guts is a spin-off of war games. So it's like how can you not, right? And I get that. But I say that in the sense it's it's kind of like a soda, right? Like soda and like Coke and Pepsi. Like it's kind of like the same product, but like, or maybe not Coke and Pepsi, but like you can like soda and like Coke and Dr. Pepper, right? Like you can like soda where we like wrestling, right? And we each just have our own cup of tea, right? Or cup of soda. And we each have our own preference. And you expect soda, right? You expect the caffeine, you expect the acidity from it, you expect all that shit, right? That crispness, that you know what I mean? That quench when you really need a when you not that you ever need a soda, but when you feel like you need a soda, right? Uh you go to whatever your favorite is, right? Whether that's something whatever the flavor is, right? But with war games and blood and guts, to me, it's blood and guts, dude. Like it's literally the name. Like blood and guts, like you're okay. Like if we were to go into a blood and guts match and not get blood, I would be very like, what the fuck? Like that would be you would it would be like getting like ordering a pepperoni pizza and not getting pepperoni, and just getting a cheese pizza. It's like, okay, cool. Like I still got my pizza, which sounds really fucking good right now. I got my pizza, but like where's the pepperoni that's in the name? You know what I mean? Like, so where's the blood? Where as in war games, now maybe I know, not even maybe. I know I'm splitting hairs. But as like with war games, it's war games is fucking serious, right? Like war is fucking serious, right? Like I'm not gonna get into it, but like it's war, you know what I mean? In games, whatever. It's just a playoff of the words. But you expect the highest level of violence, kind of like a Hell in a Cell type shit. It's like, okay, like it's boiled and boiled and boiled to this point where these teams, these group of guys and gals are feuding so much that they need to be confined in whatever structure, right? And you expect brutality out of it. You don't necessarily have to have blood. Now, I am not advocating not to have it. I think you should. I think if you're going to hype up war games and all this shit, then you need to at least have a little splattering of it. I don't think WWE will ever allow the women really to, which is a whole other topic. And again, I missed really exactly what happened with Punk, but I do think in the war games and like a Hell in a Cell type match, and even like a steel cage match, you need to have that level of that color, right? Like it really does add to it. Now you don't need to do that frequently, so that then leads into the storytelling and not just using these matches as, okay, it's November, it's time for war games. Like it needs to lead to that to warrant a bloodbath, or not a bloodbath, like AEW, but like to warrant like a blood feud type shit. So yeah, like, so again, like that's why, if in my opinion, if you went in there expecting, like, if you went in there with the mindset like, oh, Blood and Guts was dope, like, let's see how War Games compares to Blood and Guts, then you're gonna be either A, disappointed if you were hoping that WWE's version was going to be better or going to be similar to it, or B, you were like, oh yeah, of course that was trash. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking just comparing the two match types, then yeah, it's night and day, and it's never going to be similar. So you're always going to feel that way. Just kind of ripping the band-aid here. You're always going to feel that way. For me, I didn't enjoy the overall pay-per-view just because I thought it was just really kind of slow. It just really felt like we were just kind of like running in motion at times, and I don't know, I enjoyed the men's more than the women's, which is surprising to me because normally when we have like chamber matches, rumble matches, money in the bank matches where we have a men's and a women's, I find myself enjoying the women's one more. But for whatever reason, I just ended up, well, not whatever reason, but for the War Games matches, I ended up enjoying the men's one just because the men's match itself, and and this review is just gonna be more like a discussion. You guys know me. Just kind of like an overall thought and just kind of like processing of what we watched, right? The men's definitely have more story intertwined with it and backstory intertwined with it, right? Like early on in the men's one, starting off with Punk and Drew, like you have that story built in right there. Drew coming out looking pissed off already. Like Drew has so many different stories with so many different guys. It's just very easy to drop him into a situation like that. Whereas the women, you don't have that many, and you don't have that much back history to play off of. So, and that's their fault too. Like that's not the talent's fault. Like that's the creative team's fault, right? Um, and not even fault in a bad way, but that's their responsibility, I'll say, because you can't blame them for something. For whereas like a Lash Legend, she's new to the roster, so you can't blame them like, oh, like they're not pulling from story because she has no story in the main roster yet. You know what I mean? So it just boils down to the situation at that point. But to me, and again, if you guys have watched me, which a lot of you have, because you guys are people, but if you're new here, I am definitely more of a story person. I am not one of those. I'll still enjoy the show, but I will be thinking of other things, and my mind will be wandering, and I'd probably be on my phone, or honestly getting up maybe a couple times and going to get more snacks than I should. If it's just wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. Whereas if it's wrestling, some dumbass like segment, even if it's dumb, corny shit, like it still like keeps me engaged, which maybe you can judge me on that, which it's fine. Um, but I am more of a story person. So yeah, that's kind of like my long story, very, very long story short of why I just didn't really enjoy. And for this show in particular, Survivor Series, it was anchored on the War Games matches. There was 4 matches total on the card, and obviously we'll be getting to the other 2 here in a second. But when you put so much weight on 2 matches, like half of the card, and I'm not gonna say they don't deliver, but they just don't pack as high of a punch as maybe what you're expecting, then it kind of does damper the overall feeling of the show, in my opinion. At least that's what happens with me. Uh, but yeah, dude, like I don't know, like for instance, in the women's match, when it to me, it really didn't even pick up until AJ Lee came out, and it was just like I know I'm certain it was not meant to happen this way, but she comes out right, and Becky is not pissed, but Becky's like, oh god, I gotta keep her out of the cage. So she's holding the door, right, to the War Games cage, which makes sense. She doesn't want AJ Lee to get in. So naturally, AJ's like, fuck this, I'm going to climb the cage to get in. Cool, makes sense. So AJ climbs right over the door, like climbs on the because it's obviously chain linked. She climbs on the door, like on the chain, like she gets to the top, and like as she's getting to the top, like I forget what happens in the ring, like but Becky ends up I think someone like hits Becky or something. But AJ's making her way into the ring, and as she's making her way into the ring, the door gets opened. And it's just like, bro, like terrible timing. And I know like it wasn't meant to happen, and the referee's trying to struggle to like relatch the door. And it's just like, dude, like the visual was just like because for a second there, because to be honest with you, I looked away for a split second. Um I think I forget what I was doing, but I looked away for a split second. And when I looked back, AJ was making her way over the top of the cage and the door was open. I was like, what the fuck is she climbing the cage for with the door open? So then I had to rewind to see like what did I miss? And I was like, oh, okay, makes a little bit more sense. But I was just like, bro, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah. Sorry guys, I feel like I was talking for a lot there. I'm just going down to the bottom here really quick. But yeah, so officially the women's match ended with AJ Lee putting Becky Lynch in the Black Widow and getting the submission win. Obviously it sets up a championship match in my opinion. Or I'm sorry, no, it doesn't, because she's not the Intercontinental Champion anymore. But it sets up a match between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, which again is still kind of interesting to me, like the whole bringing back AJ Lee thing, but then they just like Becky just dropped the title, and now AJ Lee's back, and they're mixing it up again, and that was obviously the deciding factor. One of the heaviest points in the War Games match for the women, was the story between Becky and AJ, and now they don't have a title to fight over, which may be actually good because to be fair, AJ Lee is still coming in fresh off of what was it, 10 years of not wrestling. So, and she's in incredible shape, right? So it's nothing, no knock or anything like that. It's just a matter of just getting the reps back under your belt type shit. So maybe they were a little hesitant of having her, for instance, having a one-on-one match with Becky Lynch, beating Becky, but not wanting her to be even the IC champion yet, which I can understand, and I would, respect them for that. So maybe that was the idea, kind of two birds, one stone. You pull the trigger and do something shocking with Maxine Dupree winning the championship. Have Becky really put her over there. Becky is fucking unhinged, still on Twitter. So she's amping it up there. Now we're moving back to AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. That story again, though, it's what I was gonna reference also. I'm gonna say it's a little interesting with AJ Lee being back is they said that she signed what, like a full-time contract. So she returned at WrestlePalooza and we hadn't seen her since. And she came back, what was it, like 2 weeks ago ish? To set up, her spot in War Games, which is cool. And I'm not expecting her even period at all to literally be back full time. Um I don't know. Like I really honestly don't know what to expect, but to be fair though, when they said full time, I part of me was like, oh, okay, so we're gonna be seeing her a lot consistently going forward. And we just hadn't seen her at all. So I don't know if it was just a matter of like getting that initial return back and kind of like checking that box and like, okay, cool, like she's back. We kind of like got the, like shook the jitters off a little bit, you know what I mean, type shit. And now like she's like actively training or whatever, like whatever she's doing. Or they're like just buying some time to space it out. Maybe they're trying to drag this into a WrestleMania, which I think will be kind of long. Unless Becky ends up getting a championship back or vice versa. One of them end up getting either the IC championship or the women's championship. So we'll see. But I do want to know what you guys think, and we'll be getting to it here. Actually, it's kind of a good transition point because the next matchup we have is John Cena facing off against Dominic Mysterio. John Cena, the defending Intercontinental, speaking of, IC champion, against the AAA Mega champion Dominic in his hometown. And I have the tickets pulled up here. I want to check that out with you guys here in a second too. But I was thinking earlier, I was like, man, what is the card going to look like for John Cena? Are they for his last match? Because that's where we're at now. We're at the last time is now for Cena. We are at that final stretch. We're less than a month away, but 2-ish weeks out away now. It's kind of crazy to think about, and I'm still fucking torn, man. I think it's more FOMO now than anything, which is why I pulled up the tickets and I want to share it with you guys here, just where they're at right now, ticket price wise and availability wise. But it made me wonder too, like, okay, what else is going to be on this card, and is it because, like I've said before, is it going to be just a full-on dedication night to him? And honestly, like I've spoken about this before, I think it should be. I think it should just be a John Cena like farewell night because it's been the fucking farewell tour. You know what I mean? So it should just be a whole night dedicated to John Cena. Now he did mention that he wants to have kind of like a show off of NXT talent versus main roster talent. So if we're gonna call it like a straight 2-hour show, then you could have the first hour kind of like splice it in, like a memorial type show. Not he's fucking dead, but like just like the story of John Cena, like throughout the show and various video packages, talent, talking about Cena like favorite moments or whatever, just the typical like tribute show type shit. So you can do that, splice that out leading to the main event, and then whatever matches they're gonna have for NXT and the main roster. But you got to think that main event segment between, I'm just calling it, Gunther and Cena, you gotta say you dedicate, I would say, the last hour to it, really. Really and truly. And I hope they don't have a hard out. Like, I hope they have flexibility with an overrun. This is probably like the only time I think I've ever advocated for flexibility with the timing of the show. Not saying they need to take full advantage of it, but don't make it be where like, oh, we got to cut this short. Like John's in the middle of a speech and they got to wrap it up, because that would be just fucking trashy. Like they did to Goldberg. So I'm just hoping it's not a situation like that, and I don't think it's going to be, since I think it's just strictly on streaming now, like Peacock, and maybe on like Netflix for international viewers. I'm not sure there, um, but I would say you gotta dedicate the last hour, because it's what, starting at 8 o'clock, so from 8 to 10. So you gotta say what, from 9 on, it's just John Cena. You have Gunther come out there, make his entrance, and then, and I mean, it's even, I'm sitting here wondering, like, it's even, I I guess it almost doesn't matter, but because Gunther can like make his entrance and then kind of like back out and kind of sit off near like the announcer's table, but that final entrance is going to just be heavy for Cena. When that music hits, he's gonna like just make his, like he's gonna make his first couple steps and just stand there, dude. I don't know if he's gonna cry, like I don't know how emotional of a guy he is, but man, he's gonna be saying some shit to Stu. Like it's gonna hit you, dude. It's gonna hit you in the feels. So I can't even imagine like how long the entrance is gonna take. Now, of course, he's still gonna. Well, maybe not. Maybe does he even still run to the ring, or does he enjoy every last second of it and walk to the ring? I don't know. There's just so many questions, right? Every little thing we're gonna be looking at and just dissecting and paying attention to, which is the fun part about wrestling, right? But it just makes me nervous, man. Like I just really hope they have enough time for it, like for everything. The Goldberg thing just really kind of made me a little bit nervous. But let me refresh this page here really quick. Y'all want to see the ticket prices for this shit? Let me see if I can pull it up here really quick. So, and this is Ticketmaster, obviously. So, we'll do one ticket. Now, obviously, all the dots are the available tickets. The pink ones are the like premium and like essentially like the resale. Now, some of the blue ones are the platinum ones that are also resale. But look at some of these prices. All right. So, but again, so starting off, let me move this. Like I said, just 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, these like the lowest price, like even just on this default page right here, the lowest price, let me move the comments here for a second, was 448, I think it was. And one second. And that was for motherfucking seats that were up in this area. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but those were for seats like up in this area, like all the way up here, talking about like almost $500. And it was over $500 once you actually like put the motherfuckers in your bag and went and paid the service fees and everything. Like just insane. So they have dropped. And now, dude, honestly, y'all, if we get to a point where shit, the price gets to like below 300, like we're talking like 250, I might pull the trigger. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. But so if we have seats, like we'll look at the very tippy top. Let's see what this one is. So that price right here, the upper concourse, the end seat, because I love being end seat. Right here is $393.10. Oh, okay. So let me not select that one since you have to select two. I'll go with this one. So it'll be a middle one. So this one is $352.95. So a little bit cheaper because it's a row down and you're more in the middle of the row. So let's see how much that shit is when you put it in your bag and add the fees. Oh, it's gonna make me log in, motherfucker. I thought I was already logged in. That's annoying. I'm gonna log in really quick. It's gonna make me. It can't be having y'all know my shit. hack into my account. Never. But yeah, so you guys get the idea though. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone here really quick. Not that it's important. You guys get the idea. Generally with the yeah, because I fucking got a new phone. I had to log out of my Google accounts. That's the shit about having everything synced, man. Once you log out from one thing, you gotta fucking re-log into your life everywhere. But seats down here, because I was like, yo, like, let me see. Okay, 303 ain't bad. But that 303 is a seat all the way behind there. You can't even see the ring. You're talking about tickets on the floor. Let's see how much these would be. $4,414.10. And again, that's a resale, so motherfuckers are scalping everybody. This is a resale. And that's crazy to me. Actually, really crazy to me. So you have a ticket right here that we looked at, which is 4,414. So we'll call it 40. We'll just call it 4,500, right? Round it up, 4,400, whatever. But that's what 3 rows back behind the commentating team. Not bad seat, great seats, really. But then you slide over here where you can have floor seating again, aisle seats be right there, and that's again ridiculously priced, but 2,380. So we'll call it 2,400. A $2,000 difference. It's just wild. It's just wild. And you could be literally right there. For me, if I had disposable money like that, my ass would be right here and not 3 rows behind Michael Cole. Just saying. But yeah, I just wanted to pull up the tickets and let some of you guys take a look at it because I had gotten actually a couple messages about some of the prices and if I was going to go still. And yeah, guys, with these prices, I just can't justify it. I still can't. Let's see how much this one is. Yeah, so this one right here, $798 before fees. And this is in Washington, D.C. again, right? So a pretty nice area, nothing crazy, nothing like New York or Boston or anything too, like crazy city-wise. But I mean, it is fucking D.C., nation's capital, whatever. But it isn't like a small-in area like a Richmond, Virginia. So you do expect to have certain prices for shit. But like, dude, like, look, these are nosebleed seats, my guy. 413. 413. It's just wild. 352. Man, and it's just like, bro. Yeah. So I just thought it was pretty interesting. And I wanted to pull that up because, like I said, I had a couple people actually ask about it, and I was just like, yeah, well, I was like, you know what, motherfucker, let's pull this shit up and take a look at it. Let's take a little look see. And I just closed out all my screens, but it's cool. But yeah, so in regards to Dominic and John Cena, though, the match itself, let me know what you guys think. I will pull it up here. I'll pull up the comments in a second again. I was actually kind of 50-50 on it. Dude, so when Dominic did the Hurricane Rana on the outside and had that nasty landing, it made me tense up, dude. I was like, no. Not that you want anyone to be hurt, but at first I was like, bro, like, can you imagine if John Cena were to get hurt in that match? Literally the last match before his final match. Like, we made it this whole year. Thankfully, obviously no one ended up being hurt and it was just all a ruse. But the landing and the sell job that Dominic did, I mean, obviously the landing, I'm sure wasn't planned like that. I think, looking back on it, and not even I think, what it appears to have happened was they were planning on doing some type of fuck around moment where Dominic acts like he gets hurt, Cena's all concerned, and pretty much they do what they ended up doing, but actually really did almost end up getting hurt, where like he almost like folded, like it just, dude, I really thought his shoulder was fucked. So props to Dominic. And honestly, props to Cena too, because the way Cena reacted, I was like, dude, like he didn't overdo it. He wasn't like just like dramatic Cena. It was like it was kind of fitting. As weird as that may sound for what I potentially thought the moment could be. But again, I'm so thankful it wasn't, because Dominic is just I don't want to say he's like on a roll right now, but like he's on the right track, dude. And of course, it would be just so shitty if Cena were to have gotten hurt literally the last match before his final match. Like, what would they even do? Like, what would they even do if he? I don't even. I mean, I can say it now because it's not. We're good. We're in the clear. But like, what would have happened if he would have gotten hurt and like because WWE's had like a weird year with like shoulder injuries. So let's say like what I don't know, like if John Cena were to have fucked up his shoulder and he couldn't wrestle the last match before or his last match period, then what would they do? Would they extend it into next year? Would they extend it into WrestleMania? I mean, obviously it would depend on the recovery and what the injury is and all that shit. But like, dude, that would have been so shitty. Like I said, thankfully, no one ended up being seriously hurt or hurt at all. And Dominic is just really and truly Eddie's son and is just a fantastic worker. And I forget who it was, but shout out to them because they called it. I forget who it was, man. Was it maybe it was Fernando? I forget, but in the stream we did on Thursday, um someone was like, yo, like they predicted Liv to make her return and Chris Jericho. We obviously didn't get Chris Jericho. Well, maybe not obviously, depending on your thoughts for the main event. But my opinion, we obviously didn't get Chris Jericho but we did get Liv. So that was very surprising to me because I was like, nah, I just figured it'd be best to have her come back at Royal Rumble. And I forget, I saw something on Twitter, like it was like an excerpt from someone, like a podcast or something, where they had said that, like an Alvarez or something, where like it's going to be even trickier this year to do any surprise returns or anything like that because of the Rumble being in Saudi and it being harder to keep someone disclosed for that amount of time and the travel and all that stuff. And whereas if you just blanketly think about it, yes, but if you truly put some thought into it, not really. To me, I think it would be pretty simple I mean, not simple, but it wouldn't be as difficult as some have made it out to be. WWE has stupid disposable income, right? And disposable money. They have access to whatever they need, and that includes countless amounts of personal jets. You see a donut moving in the background, that's Frida. um, and it is very easy for them to be like, yo, uh, your highness, what do they call your royalty, whatever they call the dude? Yo, sir, I'm trying to make this really dope return. I'm trying to bring back Chris Jericho, right? At the Rumble. The problem is we really wanted to be a surprise so you guys can get the max reaction possible here in Saudi, and have it go viral and all this shit, really, really spice it up for them. Problem is travel, you're not around the corner from us, my guy. So we really need some assistance with, keeping it on the DL. So you think I can get another plane? Maybe, like just something on the side here to kind of not make it so obvious that Chris Jericho is riding over there with Randy and Cody and all these guys. Do you think that's possible? Come on. Come on. You remember years ago when they first started going to Saudi and that shit happened? I forget the details exactly, but Vince and like Brock Lesnar and like a few other guys were out like on their personal jet when like all the wrestlers were still stuck like on the plane, like waiting hours to leave. So yeah, these motherfuckers can come and go as they please. So I think it's very easy to sneak someone over there. You just have them in the same getup, like all blacked out and everything, and they're just chilling on the plane. Obviously, you have very limited people on the plane. You have maybe like your Triple H, the people who are involved. Normally, and at that point, it's just your same setup, right? It's the same hide and go seek that you do if someone is making their return in Tampa or if they're making their return in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Just keep their ass on the jet. Oh, boo-hoo. Keep your ass on the private jet until it's your time to go into the arena. I don't know, like, it just, to me, when I first heard about that, I was like, I mean, maybe, yeah, but, like, what, do we only have, like, one plane to transport these motherfuckers? Like, come on, dude. Come on. Come on. So, yeah. And again, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. All you crazy people watching on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all you people out there, I appreciate you guys enjoying a Sunday evening with me. I appreciate it. You guys could be doing a lot of other shit, watching a lot of other shit, doing nothing, and you are watching the show with me here live. Or if you're watching on replay, I appreciate that as well because I am random as fuck, so no slight on you. But I appreciate everyone. If you are watching live or on replay, for that matter, again, if you would be ever so inclined to like and or subscribe, that'd be pretty dope. We gained like, I think it was like 6 subscribers on the last stream, which ooh, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but for our little channel here, that was a lot from just one like live stream. I was kind of surprised. So that was pretty dope. I appreciate you guys. Just some talking shit, you know what I mean? Random live impromptu streams seem to be the thing. But back to the match itself here. God, me and my side rants. I apologize, guys. But the whole Liv thing. And that's how I got sidetracked. But look at me, at least I go back to it, right? At least I find the original path sometimes. But yeah, like I was wrong. So touche, you got me there. I was wrong. Liv is back. I still think he could have waited to the Rumble, but it's fine. The match was it was cute. It was one of those like okay matches. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of what I expected. To me it was a little heavy-handed. I think maybe not heavy-handed, but it was just a little bit too, I don't know, like just too much, but it plays into what we've expected from John Cena matches now. It plays into what we've expected from Dominic. So it really is what I should have expected and what I did expect, but I just think it was maybe like one, I don't know, like I think it was a combination of having Roxanne and Raquel go in there and hit their moves on Cena while the referee is out with them. And then granted, like again, because it got me, like we thought it was a real injury, right? So it does make sense that he would take some time. But then that's when I started noticing, like, okay, like the doctor he didn't call for the doctor, right? Like why is he still taking care of Dominic? Like, why didn't he call in Europe in the back if it's this serious? So then I was like, okay, I feel like I see what we're doing here. And then obviously Dominic ended up getting in the ring. And then once the referee ended up getting knocked down, I'm like, all right, dude, like, okay. And then Liv comes out. Now I will say it was pretty, that's what I was saying, it was kind of cute, right? Like pretty clever, whatever you want to call it, that they did a little throwback and a tie back to Cena's turn, right? When Cena didn't jump and throw his arms around Cody, but when Cena was hugging Cody and when Liv was wrapped around Cena, she was smiling and everything was good, and then her face dropped. And that's what signaled the turn for Cena, right? And Liv pretty much mimicked that to a T. Her face dropped, turned, she ended up giving Cena the low blow. I roll. I'm so over the low blow. You guys know I'm not gonna get on that box tonight, but just so over the low blow. But yeah. And of course I ended up playing into Dominic picking up the victory and retaining and or regaining rather the IC championship. And I do think it was the right call putting the title back on Dominic. So I do agree there. But I'm just like, dude, like, I don't know. Like, I think it was just a little bit too much. Just a little one interference too much for me. But overall, it ended up being my favorite match of the night. So, I think who I said that earlier, Alex, yeah. That's what my match of the night ended up being. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it was for what the overall purpose of it was. Cena really like kind of giving back to Dominic and really like making that match and it being Cena's last PLE match, it honestly didn't feel like that to me. It was kind of weird because he kind of went to the back pretty quickly, in my opinion. But especially with only having 4 matches on the card. But I don't know. It just in that regard, it kind of felt off. But like I said earlier, it's what we've come to expect from Cena, and props to him, man. He's really trying at the last month or so, or so rather, the last couple months to really put a focus on the younger talent in the future. So we'll see. But again, I'm going to be, or I was uh, talking for a lot there, so I'm going to dive back into the chat here really quick. I did not mean to show my own avatar. Sorry, that's funny. Dude, yeah. What was it, BTB with Nick? What up, dude? You said, I remember going to WrestleMania in Vegas and it cost me more than what I make in a month for one ticket. Yeah, bro. Fucking wild, dude, right? And I'm glad you bring that up because they're, doing their WrestleMania promotion and everything, hype videos and all that shit now. And the rumor is that the main event for next year, and we're starting to see signs of it as well on TV, that it's going to be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes again next year. Fuck off with that, dude. Really? Unless they're going to turn Cody and it's going to be a completely different dynamic, which again, I'm not even advocating for, but I'm just saying unless you're going to switch up the roles completely. But if it's going to be something similar where like Cody's the good guy and Roman isn't necessarily as bad of a bad guy as he was before, he's more of a tweener still, like kind of the role he is now. You are effing crazy if you think I would even remotely more consider parting with my money than I was even dabbling with the idea of it now. And like, I just no, I just can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. What up, Rewind 1989? What up, dude? Good to see you in here. You said I was looking to fly out to San Diego for the show. Mid-road tickets were 7,000 plus. Yeah, dude. Fuck off with that. And I would have been pissed if I had spent a good amount of money and was at that show last night for Survivor Series. Just wasn't worth it, in my opinion. Nah, but yeah, where'd it go? You said, yeah, Cena's final match was guaranteed sell regardless of what else is booked on the show. For sure, dude. That's why I was surprised, though, honestly, why there were, or that there were so many open tickets available. Yeah, so I said if they can't change Braun Breaker to Steiner, I'm afraid they aren't changing Lash Legend. I know, dude. All right. Um, Grandmaster's got some explanation for us on the Lash Legend name, so I appreciate it. So you say Lash. Howard stated in an interview that quote-unquote Lash name came from her experience playing in the WNBA. She explained that she used to quote-unquote lash out in every arena she stepped foot in, a phrase that describes her intense competitive drive. Legend, the legend part of her name, stems from her goal to become a legend in the making within the professional wrestling world, reflecting her ambition to make a significant mark in her new career, similar to her impressive achievements on the basketball court from her Instagram account. Okay. She only had what, like 3 games though? And she her impressive achievements on the basketball court. I mean, yeah, making it to the WNBA is fucking dope. But like I think she only had like a few games in the WNBA and like she scored like 5 points, which is more than I've ever scored, so it's no shade or anything like that. But I mean, like, it's not like she was like, but I mean, I get that. So okay, I can I can understand and respect that though. So touche. But they need to fucking say that on TV though, and not going forward. Again, I'm not gonna be mad at them currently. But if we go like a month from now and we're sitting here talking and we still don't get that explanation on TV, then yeah, we need to rewind that. Ah, howdy. It was you. You said, sorry I'm late to the stream, but was I right with my live return prediction? It was you, dude. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. You said I deleted my comment because of typo. I was just gloating since I got my live. Yeah, dude. I did shout you. I couldn't remember who it was. So it was you, dude. Shout out to you. Howdy and I. um, hell yeah, dude. You were the one who predicted that. So props to you, man. But yeah. So moving on here to. Honestly, we're not gonna spend too much time on the Stephanie Becker and Nikki Bella match. To me, it just wasn't that good. Which it just the crowd just isn't connected with Nikki, in my opinion. I think it's better, or I think she's much better positioned in this role as a bad guy or whatever. But man, like something's just not hitting, and just not connecting, and it's just kind of weird to me. I don't know why. But I was wrong on this one. I thought maybe they would pull the trigger on Nikki for a short little title run. But they did not, and honestly, I'm glad they didn't. I wasn't advocating for it. I was just kind of more so concerned that they would, but they did not. So I'm happy about that. But we got to the MVP segment of the night here, and that's when they showed some celebrities in the crowd. Just some people, whatever. But then they showed Danielle Fishel Topanga, who I would say probably got one of the best reactions of the night. Not even lying. Wrestler, including wrestlers. So again, just shows how wholesome she is and just how great she is. So props to her. And then we already spoke about the match a little bit in the beginning of the show. The main event. They did have the portion towards the end, which played into it obviously, with a individual dressed in all black entering the ring. At one point they had Punk and Breaker looking up, like, oh my god, what's going on, seeming surprised, whatever. The dude ended up kicking Punk and then gave him the stomp before they exited the cage. Breaker then was able to set up Punk for the spear and then picked up the 1-2-3, which I was surprised about, that they ended up going in the direction of having Braun Breaker pin Punk. Like I said, it was the better of the two War Games matches overall, in my opinion. It was weird seeing Lesnar in there, just being. They said some crazy shit, like it was the first time, or I either heard it or read it somewhere. It was like it's the first time Lesnar has been part of a team environment since like 2004 or some shit. Like, just wild. Or then a part of like a multi-man match or whatever. Just crazy shit. But yeah, so the story coming out of it is going to be, who is that masked man? A lot of people, and like the theory, pun intended, is that it is Austin Theory, which is no surprise there. The build or the person kind of makes sense. But I did see a random tweet that Buddy Matthews had posted on Instagram, Instagram earlier in the day. It's just like a workout picture, and then the caption was "Imagine the Vision," which of course the Vision playing there. In the build, Buddy is a pretty jacked up dude. So the build could be kind of similar, but I think he's still locked into his AEW contract for some time, and of course, being injured, I'm sure that extended it some time there as well. So I'm not expecting it to be him, but it was a fun little what if type play in there. And it would make sense too because him being on the Raw roster with Rippler, I can't speak now, with Rhea Ripley. So you could, the more you kind of nitpick, but I don't know how long he's going to be with AEW, but I don't think he was up anytime soon. I think he had actually just renewed his contract not too long prior. And then, of course, with being injured, that adds on time if Tony Khan elects it. Because I don't know if it's like an automatic portion of the contract where, like, if you're out 6 months due to injury, it's an automatic, like, tack on to the end of the contract, or if it's just if, management wants to. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So yeah, guys, that was the show as a whole. I don't we had like I said earlier, more signs towards the end there with Roman and Cody facing off, or that kind of being the journey that we're going back down. And I don't know, man, because at the end, Reigns had said he was in the ring with he stood between the rings, and he looked at Cody, he was like, this was the last time we'll ever team, just know that, or some shit like that. And I'm just like, man, like, I don't know, dude. Can we just not? Can we just leave each other alone? What if they do end up running it back and Reigns ends up beating Cody? Like, to me, it would be really, really intriguing, honestly, to see what a new reign of Roman would look like. But I would not even entertain it unless he is going to be back more consistently. Not saying he needs to be there every week, but none of this part-time shit being the champion. But yeah. And I meant to bring up as well the just laughability of Jay doing, like, running back the entrance in the War Games match, dude. Like, I know, like, I earlier about, I'm not expecting WWE to do anything blood and guts style, right? I'm not expecting buckets of blood, anything like that, anything vicious from WWE, right? But, like, dude, can we not have a dance along and, like, during a War Games match? Like, I don't know, man. That was just kind of a little bit too much for me. It just really kind of tanked it for me for a bit there. I don't know, just like why, dude? Why? Like, I don't know. Some people thought it was kind of comical or whatever, but to me, I wasn't a fan of it. But yeah, so that was the show there, and like I said, I just wanted to sit down and chat with you guys for a bit on about it and shoot the shit, really, on Survivor Series. Like I said, I did not think it was that strong of a show. Overall, my grade was, like, honestly a D, D plus, C minus. Just because besides the Dominic and John Cena match, like, to me, I was just more just kind of just like blah about it, to be honest with you. And I was bummed because I was really I mean, I wasn't like overly amped about it, but you know how it's like one of those things where you come home from like a long day and like you're like, oh man, you just think of the normal stuff you have to do, what you're gonna do before and as you wind down before you go to sleep. And it's like, oh fuck yeah, I have Survivor Series to watch. Like, what am I gonna throw on as I fall asleep? And like, oh no, fuck yeah, I have Survivor Series. Let's go, dude. So maybe drink a little later coffee than you should, or eat a little bit later of a snack than you should. to enjoy the show. And just, I don't know, just wasn't hitting. Just wasn't hitting for me. So yeah. It's interesting though, we don't have any more PLEs for the rest of the year. We have I think one Saturday night's main event left, just John Cena's. And that's it for the rest of the year, I believe. Yeah. So that is the last one for this year, it looks like. And then, yep, so we have Saturday night's main event on December 13th, obviously. That is the big night for Cena. The next one we have is another Saturday night's main event on January 24th in Montreal. Could be interesting. Could be an excuse to go visit Montreal. It's a little too soon, though. I can't do that. I got too much shit going on between that time. And then we have the Rumble after that. So yeah, so the next pay-per-view, that's crazy to think about. But the next pay-per-view that we have is PLE that we have is the Rumble, which isn't until January 31st. So damn. We have some time. Again, we still have 2 Saturday nights main events in between now and then, but it's a good amount of time between then. And really, when you think about it, that's it. That's it for this year. PLE wise, and the next time we'll see a PLE is the start to WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania, which is really fucking crazy when you think about it. And then just on the ground running from there, we have the Rumble on January 31st. We have the Elimination Chamber airing from Chicago, Illinois on February 28th. WrestleMania is April 18th and 19th, again in Paradise, Nevada. SummerSlam, and of course, they're going to add some paper PLEs in between here. SummerSlam is slated for August 1st and 2nd from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Money in the Bank, so kind of just the big four that we have here. Money in the Bank is slotted for September 6th of next year in New Orleans, Louisiana, which could be a fun little journey there as well. And then, of course, in 2027, fucking WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia, which is just wild to me still. But yeah, guys. So that is pretty much a lay of the land for Survivor Series and where we're at with WWE right now. We have Raw coming up tomorrow night. Nothing really crazy planned for tomorrow, really. So we'll see. We'll see what the week brings us coming forward. But I appreciate you guys for, again, joining me tonight, popping on at a random late time. I honestly, like, and you I meant to ask this earlier on in the stream, but I sometimes think about doing like random late night streams, but I don't know if that's kind of weird or if anyone would be ever interested in that. Just randomly go on late on late at times. And then too, if I ever have to make changes to like streaming schedules or whatever, are a lot of you guys on Twitter? If so, follow me on Twitter, at Kickash Podcast _ just to be abreast of any changes there. You can follow me personally at Ashmans, ASHMANNS as well. It's there on the handle for you, or the handles are there on the overlay for you. Shout out to Sai. But yeah, just didn't know, because a lot of content creators out there, which is really weird to say, but a lot of like YouTube channels will post on like their community lines and shit like that. But I didn't know like how many of you were on Twitter itself. So yeah. So just drop it in the comments or whatever. No real pressing topic there. But like I said, I just wanted to go over Survivor Series tonight. And I appreciate you guys for joining. Like I said, follow me on Twitter if you would like and subscribe here on YouTube if you would like as well. I really want to do a stream tomorrow, but I don't really know what we're to talk about. So we'll see what pops up between now and tomorrow. And kind of go from there. But again, thank you guys for joining tonight. I really appreciate you all. take it easy. It's kind of late. It's 10:30 here in the East Coast side, depending on where you're at in the world. Get some sleep. I know tomorrow is the start of a busy week for us all, so stay safe out there, guys. Enjoy some wrestling, and we'll chat later. Take care.